Fourth workout of the week, cable explosive. Okay, so it's a little different. Cable explosive, we're working more on explosive power, different positions. We take the mat off, and same concept with the cables. If you are in the gym, better. Okay, I'm not gonna film myself in the gym and embarrass myself in front of the 3 people that come to the gym after 11 p.m. So I prefer to do it here. Now, cable explosive. If you go back to the previous video about the cable stable, okay, the concept is similar, but now we do it in a more dynamic position. Okay, more dynamic position, more dynamic fashion. Once again, I have my cable, my resistance band over here, roll it around, and then I get, basically in a neutral stance position with my feet, elbow raised. If you see it from the side, it will look something like this. Okay, so basically I have the elbow raised, I have my, in this case, my left arm against the upper body, and then I will pull up to down. Now I will pull up to down as if that's a good cue. I heard in one of the functional training Michael Boyle videos, it was as if you are throwing something against the ground as violently as possible. Okay, so basically I'm really stabilizing the leg, stabilizing the core, and then like as if I'm chopping. You can think about it as a chopping motion. Imagine you have an axe and you're chopping the wood. So again, up, down, violent. If you're doing it in the gym with the cables, same concept as the cable stable. The way it will look like, it would be more efficient if you go from up to the chest to the ground. So it would be a 2-part movement, which looks really weird when you do it with this type of resistance band in this position, but it makes sense when you sit with the cable machine in the gym. So again, if you have any questions, let me know. I can find a way to film myself when someone is watching, and yeah, at the gym. But I'm gonna do this with varying amounts of weight, about 6 to 8 reps. Now the weight is lighter comparatively to the cable stable, but I'm going faster. Okay, so I'm doing a more explosive movement, faster movement, lighter weight. Okay, 6 to 8 reps to develop power. As I'm done with this side, I will of course do the other side. Same concept, neutral stance position, neutral stance. Neutral square stance. Okay, imagine you're playing tennis, and then once again, elbows raised, right arm against the upper body, and then potentially, it depends on the machine in the gym. It depends on the angle. I like to do it keeping the hips stable and then just rotating with the upper body. I've seen some videos in which people like to turn also with the hips and the lower body. It's not wrong, it's just different. Okay, so it depends what you're working on. I'm really focusing on the explosive rotation of the shoulders and the hips, separating those 2 angles. So that's one, up to down 10 times, and then once again, same idea as the cable stable. Okay, so I'm not gonna demonstrate all the variations again, but as soon as I'm done with one set, I will do my wall set. Okay, maybe with the bag, maybe with the weighted bar up on top of my head for 1 minute. I set the timer, and then I will just do my holds overhead to work on my shoulder stability as well, and my upper, some overhead press strength. Then 1 minute bids, it stops, and then I do the cable explosive up to down once again. I'm gonna do it 3 times. Okay, let's say 3 sets of 8. 3 sets of 8, alternating with the wall set. Done with that. It's gonna be cable explosive, same idea, low to high. Okay, so once again, now I get once again in a square stance, square position, neutral position. Now I'm actually going, it's probably easier if I show you in this direction. Okay, so I am gonna squat down, okay, get as close as I can with the elbow or with the upper arm, with the lower arm, I mean with the forearm, okay, close to the knee, and then from this position I'm gonna pull up and out, exploding with the hips and with the shoulders rotating. Now once again, if you do it with the cable machine, it's gonna look something like from this position, it's gonna come here and then out. But with the resistance band, which is also a fair way to do it, okay, if you have a heavier resistance band, one of the thicker ones, like these ones, okay, and you can find a place to hang it in a lower spot, or if you can ask someone to hold it down, you can alternate 10 and 10. That's not a bad exercise. It's a great warm-up exercise, okay? So once again, in the total warm-up video, okay, some of these ideas are included, right? But just keeping it simple, keeping it on this context, let's say sets of between 6 and 8, depending on the weight, fast repetitions, explosive repetitions, lower weight, okay? As soon as I'm done with both sides, I will do my Copenhagen plank, which I explained in the other video. So basically I'm repeating the same workout twice. It might get boring. If it gets boring for you, then find some different exercises that keep you engaged. I don't get bored easily, so I will do again my Copenhagen plank 10 times and then hold. Strong position, up with the head, up with the butt, and then relax. Switch side. Yeah. Yes. So it's basically a side plank with an elevated leg, which really helps to strengthen the inner thigh muscles, groin muscles. Super important for tennis, changing direction, making sure you don't get injured, even pull muscles. That's one of the, again, knock on wood, never happened anything to me or to people I know in this context here, but the groin is actually a weak spot for tennis players as much as the shoulder. So shoulder mobility and strengthening the groin area, strengthening the core for the low back and the hips, mandatory. Okay, first reason of physical training is making sure we do not get injured, and then we want to work on performance too. Yes, I will do the cable explosive low to high once again. I will show it from here, squat position, down here, forearm to the knee, up and out, forearm to the knee, up and out, up and out, and really try to work explosively, breathing out all you've got. It's an explosive movement, okay? So right now we're working on performance, we're working on explosive, you know, it's an explosive exercise, okay? So you really want to go fast and I don't know, give me a word that works, but intensity, that's a good one. Yes, 3 times, 3 sets between 6 and 8, alternating with the Copenhagen plank, and then we're done with the cable explosive workout, okay? Looks a lot better in the gym, I promise, but it works to work on the becoming a rotational athlete, to turn a little more, especially on the ground strokes, on the serve. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to swing inside out, you gotta turn the shoulders, and if you want to hit the ball big, then you have to separate the line of the shoulders to the hip, separation angle. So these exercises can help to improve in that area. Let me know if you have any questions. You can write in the comments, you can send me an email. Again, if you go on Tennis Club Odense page, you can find all my information. But yes, thank you for watching.